Before we get the video going, I just want to let you know that right now, starting on the 12th and through the end of the year, I have a special sale going on exclusively on Smashword. Yeah, that's right, sale. How much is the sale? About 50% off. Yeah, so there you go. And the sale is on my books, the Glitch series that you can see right over there. Yeah. So if you want to read some scintillating stories from me, yeah, just go over to the Smashword website, look up Smashword sale, and enjoy yourself. And just to make sure you find my books, I'll leave links down below in the description. Okay? Right. Now let's get on with the video. Hello again. Well, you could say it's a different time of day, but don't worry. I got the second half of the year in review for you. And we're going to pick up right where the camera died. Okay, are you ready? Okay, so on July of 2024, we had a whole bunch of things going on, to say the least. For example, Ken Starmer, aka Sir Starmer, yeah, that's his title, Sir Starmer, became the first Labour Party Prime Minister in the United Kingdom in 14 years. It's not because they actually liked him, because the people were actually voting against the Tories because they were just making a mess of things. And then, also in July, the Iranians replaced their dead president with a new president, Masoud Pezeshkian. I don't speak Farsi, so sorry. Now let's see how long this guy's going to last. And then, of course, in France, they had the vote for the legislature. And National Rally, you know, Le Pen's party, basically got cheated by Macron when he basically made a deal with the devil, otherwise known as the New Popular Front. And you say, who the hell is that? Basically some ad hoc group of small leftist parties who basically combined themselves in one big ball of earwax, and they were able to get just enough votes to leapfrog past National Rally. But unfortunately, they didn't get 51% of the vote, so... Well, anyway... And then, of course, as all of you were paying attention, July was also the month where old Trump almost got his head blown off by some kook out there in Butler, Pennsylvania. In fact, you could say Trump was probably the only person who got an ear piercing by AR-15 and lived to tell the tale. Yeah, I don't think most people want to go through that. But hey, at least old Trump's got a fanciful tale to tell his great grandkids, I suppose. Well, anyway, uh, July was also the month that Sleepy Joe was forced to end his candidacy for president. Uh, and of course, if you were paying attention, I don't have to explain it to you. But that was also when old Sleepy Joe tried to debate Trump and basically put his foot in his mouth and his other foot up his rear end. But hey, it couldn't happen to a more deserving clown. Well, anyway, also in the month of July was the Summer Olympics, like AKA the Woke Olympics. And of course, anyone who saw the damn opening ceremonies, I don't have to explain to you, you already know what happened. In other words, you cannot unsee what you saw. And, well, whatever. Also, in the month of July, Nicolas Maduro uh, won another election. Well, what do you expect? And you really find that surprising? Yeah. That sort of happens when you run a dictatorship. Uh, what did Stalin once say? The guy who counts the votes in the end usually determines who's president. Yeah. And in the case of Maduro, well, it's self-explanatory. And of course, the opposition cried foul, but then what do you expect? In Maduro's Venezuela, who gives a toss what the opposition thinks? Well, anyway, also in the merry, merry month of July was when riots broke out in Southport, England, after some kook decided to attack a bunch of little kids and try to turn them into shish kebabs. And of course, if you saw that incident, I have to explain it to you. But yeah, and of course, the damn English government decided that the people who were out in the street getting angry and upset, they were the problem, not the fool who was going into the damn schoolyard trying to kill a bunch of little kids. So, yeah. And who's the villain in this narrative again? Yeah, precisely. And then, of course, also in July, Ishmael I almost said hyena. Hymena, I think I'm pronouncing it wrong. The head of political leader Hamas got himself killed in Tehran. And we still don't know how that happened. But most people have a pretty good idea who the gunman was. Yeah, people who love the taste of bagels, not necessarily with sour cream. Yeah, and we still don't know how they pulled it off. We don't know if someone put a bomb in the guy's bed or tossed a grenade through the window. And we may never know. Well, anyway, uh, in the merry, merry month of August, the the Move Forward Party was dissolved, and Pina Limmajoranarat, along with other senior politicians, were banned from politics by Thailand's constitutional court. And then you say, well, why that happened? Apparently, Mr. Pena probably didn't pay off the right people. Hey, it is what it is. And then, of course, also in the merry month of August, old Zelensky, aka the green T-shirt, as certain people refer to him, decided that he was going to give old Vlad a taste of his own medicine. So he sent a big chunk of his army across the border into Kursk. And let's just say this. Zelensky's going to find out what it's like to be the Wehrmacht in 1943. And you say, wait, what? Yeah, look up Operation Citadel and you'll understand. But anyway, also in August, a Syrian illegal immigrant, murdered 3 people in Germany. And let's just say the Germans weren't too happy about that. But hey, that's what you get for letting a bunch of people who you don't really know into your country, right? Well, anyway, moving on. In the merry month of September, the Brazilian Supreme Court uh, upheld a decision to block X, aka Twitter, from Brazil. Why? Well, let's just say they had their reasons. But anyone who's paying attention to that story already know the reasons. Because the previous Brazilian president was apparently a close friend of Elon Musk, and apparently the new people in charge, i.e. Lula da Silva, yeah, that guy. Let's just say this: simply voting out the previous guy isn't good enough for them. They want to reach out and put the hurt on anyone who supported the previous president. Well, anyway, moving on. Also in September, Ryan Leslie wrote, attempted to finish what that other clown started back in July against Trump. Yeah, another kook with a gun. It's that Root, he didn't get a chance to fire off a shot. Yeah, thank you, Secret Service. And now he's facing capital murder charges. Even though technically he didn't actually kill anybody, but hey, when you try to kill the president or the person who likely will be president, let's just say you're going to get more trouble than you can handle. Also in September, Hezbollah had a little problem with their pagers and walkie-talkies. Namely, they had an expiration date. And you can only, and of course, if you already know this story, hey, I don't have to explain it to you. I don't have to explain it to you. Especially if you work for Hezbollah, I really don't have to explain it to you. But yeah, the damn Mossad really put emphasis on the phrase reaching out and touching someone. Yeah, indeed, when they got finished with Hezbollah, those brothers lost 32 people and over 3,000 of them were injured. Yeah, mostly missing fingers and missing toes and missing big chunks out of their asses, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. The Israelis apparently weren't finished with Hezbollah when they went out and assassinated Nasrallah, you know, the head of Hezbollah. Yeah, killed him worse off than fried chicken. Except you wouldn't want to eat Nasrallah's carcass after the Israelis got finished with him, but whatever. Anyway, moving on. Also in September, Hurricane Helena showed up, and it caused a whole bunch of havoc, primarily in Florida. And boy, did it. Yeah, the death toll at the time was listed as 230 plus people dead and more than 600 people missing. Yeah, I guess some people are not going to be showing up for Thanksgiving dinner, I suppose. Well, anyway, moving on. The Great Britain decided they're going to phase out their coal power plants to basically be in compliance with the Paris Accords. And of course, if you're familiar with the Paris Accords, what I explained to you, you already know. But the only question is, what is the damn people in London going to replace their coal-fired plants with? And before you say solar panels and windmills, yeah, sure, player. Well, anyway, moving on. In the merry, merry month of October, the Israelis again decided to go the full 15 rounds with Hezbollah by invading South Lebanon. Yeah, well, what can you say? You can't keep those two apart, huh? Not even with a damn fire hose. Well, anyway, moving on. Also in October, the ICC Women's T20 World Cup of Cricket was held in United Arab Emirates, and it was won by the New Zealand team. And of course, at this point, you say, I didn't know there was enough women in New Zealand that played cricket they could form a team with. Yeah, you and me both. Well, anyway, moving on. They had an election in Mozambique, and Daniel Chapo, no relation to the other Chapo down south, was elected president, while the ruling party, Free Limo, and yeah, that's how it's pronounced, Free Limo, retained control of the Congress. So, you know, that guy's gonna have nothing but problems. Anyway, moving on. In October, SpaceX achieved its first successful return and capture of the Super Heavy booster Starship. Now, of course, if you're an Elon simp, I don't have to explain it to you. You already know about this. But, yeah, that's great for you. Yeah, so what can you say about that? One small step for man, one giant leap for Elon. Well, anyway, moving on. The Europa Clipper, and you say, what the hell is that? I'm getting that part. Was launched to investigate the moon Europa around Jupiter. And according to the official paperwork, the vehicle won't get to Europa until 2030. Yeah, well, hopefully they find what they're looking for. Anyway, moving on. Also happening in the month of October, they had a parliamentary election in Georgia. And no, I don't mean Georgia down there where Atlanta is, the other Georgia. And the party, Georgia Dream, won the majority in Parliament, which basically pissed the hell out of the EU. Why? Well, let's just say this. The Georgia Dream, they dream about a lot of things, but EU membership ain't on the list. Well, there you go. Anyway, moving on. We come to the month of November. Ah, yes. And of course, what happened in the month of November? Well, I think you already know, but anyway, Cackling Harris did not become president of the United States. Thank you, God. In the meantime, the guy actually won the presidency. He goes down in history as being only the second human being ever to win 2 non-consecutive terms as president. And you say, who was the first guy who pulled it off? Grover Cleveland. And of course, if I have to tell you that much, you obviously need to sit down and read some more history books. But anyway, moving on. Uh, in Germany, Olaf Scholz dismissed his finance minister from his coalition government, otherwise known as the stoplight coalition. And why I call it that? Well, if you're unfamiliar, it's basically 3 parties. It's basically the Social Democrats, the Free Democratic Party, and then the Greens. And you say, so why they call it the Stoplight Party? Well, if I remember correctly, because the Green Party, their colors are, their colors are green. The Social Democrats, their colors are red. And finally, the Free Democratic Party, their party colors is yellow. Therefore, green, yellow, red. Stoplight. Get it? Yeah, I know. It's not a funny joke, but anyway, Olaf Scholz dismissed this Christian Lindner from his coalition government. Why? I don't know. I guess he was tired of looking at his face, I suppose. But anyway, and at that point, that coalition government of Scholz started looking really, really wobbly. Anyway, moving on. Also, in the month of November, the ICC, aka International Criminal Court, issued an arrest warrant for Benjamin Netanyahu, his defense minister, Yolan Gant, and, wait for it, you ready? The Hamas military leader, Mohammed Deif. And you say, what for? Why you think? Being very naughty. But officially for committing war crimes. Now, of course, wouldn't you love to watch those 3 clowns sit all stuck in a jail cell together? Yeah, that would be really fun to watch. Anyway, moving on. Also in the month of November, the same Netanyahu declared a ceasefire deal with Hezbollah. Yeah, apparently he got tired of tangling with that nest of rattlesnakes. Show you that the guy's not entirely stupid after all. Anyway, moving on. Also in the month of November, the jihadi opposition to Bashar al-Assad, let's just say they finally got off their butts and decided to do something about it. And they stormed out of Idlib and right into Aleppo, which is the 2nd largest city in all of Syria, taking control of it, which was very, very embarrassing to our Syrian friends, as well as the Iranians and Russians too, which I'm not going to get into. Anyway, moving on. In the merry month of December, Romania had a parliamentary election with the incumbent National Coalition of Romania winning a plurality of the votes, which means they won a lot, but apparently not majority. With the far right parties making substantive gains, but not enough to totally take control. And also in December, the president of South Korea, Yoon Suk Yeol, sorry, I don't speak Korean, declared martial law during a late night address, accusing the opposition Democratic Party, no, not that Democratic Party, sympathizing with the people up there in Pyongyang. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, whatever you say. Anyway, moving on. Back out there in Paris, France. Michel Barnier, I think I pronounced his name right, became the first prime minister since George Pompidou, losing a no confidence vote in the French legislature and being removed from office. And of course, then you say, why? I don't know. I guess the legislature didn't like the guy's face. So there you go. And also in the merry month of December, that scumbag, Luigi, who I'm not going to pronounce his last name, shot Brian Thompson in the back. Why? Because he's a cowardly son of a bitch. That's why. I mean, if you're going to kill somebody, shoot him in the face. Don't be sneaking up behind him like some creep and shoot him in the back and then run away like a damn coward. I mean, it's not like you're going up against Wyatt Earp. But still, yeah. Poor old Thompson never knew what hit him in every sense of the word. But anyway, moving on. Back in Romania, they attempted to have a presidential election, which didn't work out too well. Why? Because apparently this fellow, Calin, Georgescu, was about to win. And apparently some people at EU Central couldn't have that, so they basically short-circuited the process and basically declared that the vote count was illegitimate, and they basically annulled it. And now, of course, some of you probably right now are saying, oh, that's dirty poo. Hey, no kidding. And to make matters worse, know what the Romanian Constitutional Court excuse was? Russia. And you say, wait, what? Yeah. Apparently, old Vlad must have eaten some bad borscht and cut one in the Kremlin, and the smell drifted all the way out of Russia and into damn Romania and made everyone vote for this George Kiscu, which basically freaked out the people in the EU. So there you go. Anyway, moving on. Also in the merry month of December, old Bashar Assad, yeah, him again, he was forced to flee his own country. Why? Because his army fled about 5 seconds before he did. And of course you say, oh, yeah, well, I guess that's what happens when you don't pay your soldiers well enough to fight for you. They drop their guns and say, later, dude. And of course, old Bashar, he had to say later, dude, too. And last time I heard, he's hanging out in Russia with his very sick wife. And then you say, sick? Yeah, apparently she's sick of him. And also, she's also got cancer, so whatever. Anyway, moving on. Also in December, FIFA announced that Morocco, Portugal, and Spain will jointly host the 2030 World Cup. And at this point, you say, what, they couldn't get one country to do it? No, apparently not. I guess no one country could afford to. So if you're like totally into World Cup soccer, you better get your passport updated because you're going to need it if you want to see all those games in 3 different countries on 2 continents. Anyway, moving on. In Georgia again, and no, not Georgia and Atlanta, the other Georgia, Mikhail Kafashvili, yeah, can't pronounce Georgian, sorry, of the People's Power Party, sorry, let me try that again. People's Power Party, thank you, was elected president. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, I guess if you're going to vote for somebody, vote someone who knows how to play football. So there you go. And now, also in the merry month of December, the Judicial Court in Avignon, I think I'm pronouncing that right, France, found Dominique Pascal guilty of aggravated rape of his ex-wife, Giselle, and imposed a maximum sentence of 20 years in prison. And wait for it, you ready? Apparently the guy wasn't alone doing this. There was 50 other people involved. And at this point you say, wait, what? Yeah, I know, it sounds crazy. But apparently it was one of the biggest rape cases ever conducted in France. And they said the 50 other defendants in the case were also convicted of crimes ranging from attempted rape to aggravated rape and received prison sentences ranging from 3 to 15 years. And I'm thinking like, wow, dude. Yeah. Because apparently this incident happened over the course of 9 years, way back between 2011 and 2020, when the husband was pimping out his wife, apparently without her knowledge. And you say, wait, what? Yeah, crazy story. Apparently this guy, Dominique, he was slipping his wife a Mickey Finn, and when she passed out, he would bring in strange weirdos off the street and let him have and play with his wife. So then you wonder how he got caught. I guess the last time she must have woke up right in the middle of it and wondered, ooh, who's this? And she realized it wasn't the shadow. Anyway, moving on. The month of December also had the 2025 start of the 2025 Jubilee for the Catholic Church. And you say, what the hell is that? Well, it's a Catholic thing, but apparently it was originally announced by Pope John Paul II at the end of the Great Jubilee. And they said this upcoming Jubilee for the Catholic Church was preceded by the Extraordinary Jubilee of Mercy of 2015. So yeah, it's a Catholic thing. So unless you're a Catholic, I don't have to explain it to you. But for everyone else who's not a Catholic, well, yeah, you're going to have to sort this one out on your own. Anyway, moving on. In Kazakhstan, an Azerbaijan airliner crashed, killing 67 people, while 29 of them managed to survive. And right now, they're still trying to sort out what happened there. And there were some people saying, oh, the Russians shot it down with one of their air defense systems. Other people saying, nah, the damn Ukrainians were still flying drones over the airport in Grozny, Chechnya, where the airplane was supposed to land, and one of those drones collided into it. So it depends on whose story you're going to believe, right? But anyway, regardless of that, dead is dead. And someone's got to pay for that in every sense of the word. And then, of course, also in the merry, merry month of December, acting president of South Korea, Han Duck-soo, and please, it's not a joke, that's the guy's actual name, Duck-soo. So, anyway, the acting president was impeached by by members of his parliament for failing to promulgate two bills related to the previous president's legal proceedings. And now they have a new acting president, Chow Sang-mok. And before you even start snickering, don't, okay? I mean, I'm totally not making these guys' names up. I mean, this is what these guys' names are. So there you go. And also happening in the year that just passed, we had a bunch of Nobel prizes. And who won Nobel Peace Prize this year? Nano Hidekato? And you say, who the hell is that? Well, apparently, it's the Japanese Conference of Atomic Bomb Sufferers Organization. And when you translate the name of the organization into English, it comes out as Naikando Hideyako. I don't speak Japanese, so there you go. But anyway, they won the Nobel Peace Prize for their efforts to achieve a world free of nuclear weapons, and for demonstrating through witness testimony that nuclear weapons must never be used again. And I'm thinking, yeah, well, good luck with that. Well, that is pretty much the previous year, 2024 in review. And currently, the date is December 28th, 2024. So unless someone presses a big red button and starts a nuclear war within the next 2 days, I guess that's all the notable events of the previous year. Now, what's going to happen next year? No man knows the future, but you can probably guess what will likely happen in the coming year of 2025. And one of the obvious things is that Donald Trump will be inaugurated president. Unless, of course, he slips on a banana peel, and then we'll have to inaugurate J.D. Vance, but whatever. Well, if you stuck all the way to the end of this video, hey, slap yourself on the back, because you are awesome. Well, stay tuned to this channel, because you'll see my usual videos where I'm basically putting in my 2 cents of the events of the moment. And that's it for me, SA, and stay watching.